The world watched in horror a year ago as Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The initial shockwaves of this aggressive move reverberated across the globe, leaving nations scrambling to respond and citizens everywhere glued to their screens, witnessing the unfolding chaos. What began as a political standoff quickly escalated into a brutal conflict, tearing apart families and redrawing borders on the map of Europe. Diplomatic efforts to de-escalate the situation seemed futile as the violence intensified, leading to a humanitarian crisis of unprecedented scale. Cities once bustling with life transformed into battlegrounds, scarred by shelling and echoing with the sounds of sirens. The once vibrant streets now lay in ruins, a stark contrast to the normalcy that existed just months before. The relentless bombardment left no corner untouched, turning homes, schools and hospitals into mere memories. Despite the valiant efforts of Ukrainian forces and the unwavering support of international allies, the shadow of war continues to loom large over the nation. The resilience of the Ukrainian people has been nothing short of extraordinary, as they stand united in the face of adversity, determined to defend their homeland. The conflict has claimed the lives of countless innocent civilians, forcing millions to flee their homes in search of safety. Refugee camps have sprung up across neighboring countries, providing a temporary haven for those who have lost everything. The stories of these displaced individuals are heart-wrenching, each one a testament to the human cost of war. The physical destruction is matched only by the emotional toll inflicted on the Ukrainian people, who endure the constant threat of violence and the uncertainty of a future shrouded in conflict. Families are torn apart, children are left traumatized, and the psychological scars run deep, affecting generations to come. Every day, stories of loss, resilience, and desperate hope emerge from the war-torn nation, serving as a stark reminder of the human cost of this ongoing tragedy. These narratives of survival and courage highlight the indomitable spirit of the Ukrainian people, who continue to fight for their freedom and future, even in the darkest of times. In the early hours of February 1, 2025, a wave of terror struck the Ukrainian city of Poltava. The city, known for its rich history and peaceful streets, was abruptly awakened by the sound of sirens and explosions. A Russian missile aimed at the heart of the city ripped through the pre-dawn silence, its trajectory a harbinger of destruction. The missile, launched with precision, carried a payload of devastation. It slammed into a residential building with terrifying force, the explosion echoing through the quiet streets. The impact was immediate and catastrophic. The impact reduced the structure to a pile of rubble, trapping families within the debris and sending shockwaves through the neighborhood. The once sturdy walls crumbled, leaving behind a scene of utter destruction. The aftermath of the attack was a scene of devastation and despair. Streets that once bustled with life were now filled with the sounds of crying and chaos. Emergency services worked tirelessly, racing against time to pull survivors from the wreckage. Firefighters, paramedics, and volunteers all joined forces in a desperate bid to save lives. As dust settled, the true extent of the tragedy became horrifyingly clear. The air was thick with smoke and dust, and the cries of the injured and grieving filled the air. 14 innocent lives were lost in the attack, including 2 young children. Families were torn apart, and the community was left to mourn the senseless loss. The city of Poltava, once a haven far from the front lines, was now etched into the map of this brutal conflict, forever marked by the tragedy. The scars of this day will remain in the hearts of its residents for generations to come. Among the victims of the Poltava missile strike was the Yavorska family, Olena, Dmytro, and their 9-year-old daughter, Sofia. Olena, a dedicated employee of Nova Pochta, Ukraine's largest logistics company, was known for her warm smile and tireless work ethic. Dmytro, a skilled carpenter, poured his heart into crafting beautiful furniture, his creations gracing homes throughout the city. Sofia, a bright and inquisitive child, brought joy to everyone she met. She loved to dance, her laughter echoing through the halls of their apartment building. Now only a void remains where their laughter and love once filled their home. The Yavorska family, like so many others, are victims of a war they did not choose, their futures brutally cut short by an act of senseless violence. As the dust settled on the devastating attack in Poltava, another incident sent shockwaves through the region. This time the target was a former boarding school in the small town of Sudzha, Russia. The once peaceful institution, now a site of tragedy, became the epicenter of a new conflict. Both Ukraine and Russia leveled accusations at each other over a strike on this former boarding school, which had been repurposed by Ukrainian troops. The building, which once echoed with the laughter of children, now stood in ruins, a stark reminder of the ongoing conflict. Ukraine claimed that Russian forces deliberately targeted the school, resulting in the tragic loss of 4 lives and leaving 84 individuals injured. The scene was chaotic, with emergency responders working tirelessly to assist the injured and secure the area. Russia, in turn, accused Ukraine of launching missiles from the Sumy region, claiming that the school was hit as collateral damage. Russian officials were quick to inspect the damage, emphasizing the need for a thorough investigation. The conflicting narratives and lack of independent verification make it challenging to determine the true sequence of events. Analysts and international observers have called for a transparent investigation to uncover the facts and hold those responsible accountable. Regardless of who is ultimately responsible, the attack on the Sudzha boarding school serves as a grim reminder of the blurred lines and indiscriminate nature of warfare, where civilians often bear the brunt of the violence. The tragedy underscores the urgent need for peace and the protection of innocent lives caught in the crossfire. Section 5. Ukrainian resilience, drones downed in the night. Despite the unrelenting attacks and heavy losses, the spirit of Ukraine remains unyielding. In a display of remarkable resilience and military prowess, the Ukrainian Air Force successfully neutralized a significant threat in the early hours of February 2nd. Working tirelessly throughout the night, Ukrainian forces shot down 40 out of 55 Russian drones targeting various regions, including the capital Kyiv, Kharkiv, and Sumy. The drones, primarily targeting energy infrastructure, represented a clear attempt to cripple Ukraine's ability to provide essential services to its citizens. The successful interception of these aerial threats is a testament to the unwavering dedication and skill of the Ukrainian military, who continue to defend their homeland with unwavering courage and determination. Section 6. Promises broken, the ceasefire that never was. Amidst the escalating violence and mounting casualties, international efforts to broker a ceasefire have faltered, leaving the people of Ukraine trapped in a seemingly endless cycle of violence. Despite promises from U.S. President Donald Trump to swiftly secure a ceasefire, the fighting rages on, with Ukrainian forces facing relentless pressure on the eastern front lines. Russia's superior manpower and resources have enabled them to maintain the offensive, pushing back Ukrainian forces and tightening their grip on captured territories. The continued fighting, despite international calls for de-escalation, underscores the complexity of the conflict and the immense challenges faced by those seeking a peaceful resolution. Section 7. The human cost, a plea for peace. As the conflict in Ukraine enters its second year, it is crucial to remember that behind the headlines and geopolitical analysis lie the stories of real people whose lives have been irrevocably altered by the horrors of war. The human cost of this conflict is immeasurable, measured in the lives lost, families torn apart, and futures shattered. The international community must not allow the plight of the Ukrainian people to fade into the background. Continued humanitarian aid, diplomatic efforts, and unwavering support for Ukraine's right to self-determination are essential to alleviating the suffering and forging a path towards a just and lasting peace. Section 8. The world watches on international response and aid. The international community has responded to the crisis in Ukraine with an outpouring of support, providing humanitarian aid, military equipment, and imposing sanctions on Russia. Organizations such as the United Nations, the Red Cross, and countless NGOs are working tirelessly to deliver essential supplies, medical care, and psychological support to those affected by the conflict. The European Union and the United States have provided billions of dollars in financial aid and military equipment to bolster Ukraine's defense capabilities. However, the needs remain immense, and sustained international cooperation is crucial to ensuring that Ukraine receives the comprehensive support it needs to withstand the ongoing aggression and rebuild its shattered nation. Section 9. Hope amidst the ruins, a prayer for Ukraine. Despite the bleak realities of the ongoing conflict, the resilient spirit of the Ukrainian people shines through the darkness. Stories of courage, compassion, and unwavering hope emerge daily from the war-torn nation, reminding the world that even in the face of unimaginable adversity, the human spirit endures. As the world watches on, we can only hope and pray for a swift and peaceful resolution to this conflict. May the echoes of gunfire be replaced by the laughter of children playing, may the rubble of destroyed buildings give way to new beginnings, and may the people of Ukraine finally find solace and rebuild their lives in a future free